It's my fault, Joe.
Oh,
I made a cock up.
I need to get a bigger box because these aren't going. There's not enough.
For once, it wasn't you that was muted on the mic. It was my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to get a bigger one of these now. They do one where the dice holder goes all the way across.
I don't know.
Well, they have to.
I need to talk to them.
For me.
So.
Back to the chest.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't miss much with the no sound. I was just watching him with his excessive amount of dice, and he told us that he gets his little treasure chests from the range. I then told
from the works.
The same. I then told Lehman Russ to pull his tongue out of Joe's arse because he was complimenting his haircut that he hasn't had.
I haven't had a haircut.
So that was all you missed so far. Sorry about that. Yeah.
I now need to. But I was just saying how I need to get a bigger box.
I'm running late today because I'm a bit all over the place. But hey. Also, before we get started on the proper stuff, SciSJ has super chatted £10 already, Joe, off the bat, and said, here's a milkshake fund for Joe so he will forgive me for last night. Did you want to talk about that at all?
Basically, I had the least fun I've ever played, I've ever had playing Warhammer in my life before. No, I don't think there's any other experience that was worse than that. It was awful. Simon obviously is a wonderful human being.
He is a wonderful human being.
Before he goes into a shame spiral in his living room. I like Simon a lot, but he was running the new Tau, with the twin lance. He proxied it like we did with Paddy the other day, and it was one of the single most horrific gaming experiences in my life.
Why?
Tau is just we put our models down, you pick your models up simulator, really.
Yeah?
Because it's all just obscene firepower. And we use the Games Workshop terrain layout, which I've kind of said it's quite good. But one of the maps we used last night, there was just all the lanes of fire. So I couldn't hide anywhere. I had 2 bits of cover in my deployment zone, and that was it.
Okay.
And so versus Tau, I had to put most of my stuff off the table, and then basically he went first. At the start of my turn 1, I had a small little contingent in quarter of the table, and he was in the 3 other table quarters. The twin lance is
obnoxiously good.
Obnoxiously dumb. It needs.
I hadn't really looked at the rules of it until this morning.
It needs a rules change and a points change because there are 160 points. So they're one.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Describe the relief of passing the Dempsey PR role to Tony, where you now need not care who Liam says he'll see next Tuesday from GW.
Fucking Brian!
Bloody Brian. Doing Brian stuff.
Although he didn't go off multiple times.
Oh.
So do we just leave him on? Do we leave Brian on for this one, chat?
I don't know. It's up to you. I don't mind. I have found more coins in my box.
Chat, tell me, do we leave Brian on or off if he's going to do it once and not be broken?
Silly Brian.
What do you want, chat? What do you want? Do you want Brian on Liam and Joe shows or not?
2 last ships, because
Chat, tell me!
They're not saying anything, mate. They've abandoned you in your hour of need. VIP from Brian. I feel blessed. On. They've said on. He is very loud though. If we could turn his volume down, that would be great.
I can turn down.
Yeah. So the twin lance can go up 60 points, and they're still an auto take. Because they scout 8, move 10. So if you go first, they move 18 inches, which is, guess what? The entire length of no man's land.
Right, I've left it. Most people say on, so I'm going to leave them on and we'll see how it works.
Then they can shoot, and then they can charge, and then they can either do a move. So if they don't charge, they can just do a 6-inch move. Or if they charge, they could do a fallback move. And a fallback move is your normal move, so that's just a flat 10.
Joe's not used to stopping when Brian starts.
Fuck him. Right, I'm talking right now.
You can't talk over Brian.
I'm complaining.
Stop it now.
Hey guys. Thought I would ask, is there a pet policy for Hobby House? As would to Hobby in Saturday. Also, will you have the twin lens in stock on SAT?
So thank you, Kira, for the $5. Hey, Kate. We have one twin lance in stock currently that I am thinking about buying myself.
Oh.
Pet policy is an odd one. Toby is not pro allowing pets in because people have allergies. Some kids are afraid of dogs, etc. So it's kind of at the moment we're sort of operating on a case-by-case basis, but we're going to kind of say no, we're not pet friendly.
What pet is it? Is it a lizard?
Was that, by the way, was that echo? What do you mean echo on Brian? What?
Oh, because they can hear him there, and they can hear him through our microphones.
But I have him on the same volume when I was sat there on fucking last night. And there was no echo.
I don't know. I just work here. So,
maybe Brian gets turned off then.
you can get like the helper dogs, can't you? Like, if it's a service animal,
Service animals is fine, obviously.
yeah. But like, could you have a seeing eye lizard or a chameleon?
A seeing eye chameleon would be a pretty peak seeing eye pet, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or like a poo flinging monkey. I have to buy a bigger treasure chest now because I've run out because I want to have all my Templar and all my fist dice in the same thing at the same time. That's my life now, just Dice Man. I didn't organise this after I used it the other day, and now it's all just a right kerfuffle.
All right, I wonder if that will fix it. Because your mic's on. My mic was on Wednesday, but otherwise you wouldn't be able to fucking hear me. I love people diagnosing issues from fucking hundreds of miles away. It's really fucking helpful.
Liam's grumpy today.
It's really fucking helpful.
And that's why he wanted to talk about colour.
No, that was the you thing.
What?
That was the you suggestion.
Don't drag me into your problem.
Before we get into it, Tank the Unknowing, thank you for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you. Thank you, Tank. I hope, Tank, that you get an all expenses paid trip to Barcelona. Barcelona.
I've never been to Barcelona.
I've never been, and I want to go.
Why do you want to go to Barcelona?
Because that's where the World Championships is.
Of war hamsters?
Of war hamsters, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Barcelona. That's what you hear when you get off the plane.
Do you?
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what I've been told anyway. Not what I hear.
I'm into it. I've turned it down slightly, so we should still be able to hear it, but you should be able to pick it up. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is Joe's topic. Joe's topic came about because he saw a kit bash stroke conversion of Templars and Grey Knights.
So basically, we'll give it. So Scriv Paints on Instagram has converted some very nice Grey Knight Strike Squad out of the Black Templar's Sword Brethren kit, but obviously giving them the psychic hood and obviously the heads and the arms, but obviously they've got the really nice Sword Brethren body. And he's using them as...
Pridders says, calls credit card company to refund 60 gifted. I'm sorry, Pridders, I am grumpy today. I apologise.
What are they called? The Ultramarines guys. What are they called?
Victrix
Honor Guard. So he's using them as a Victrix Honor Guard in his Blood Ravens, because if you can remember back in the day when you played Dawn of War, Dark Crusade, or it might be in the first one of the unit upgrades you could get for Dawn of War was a unit of Grey Knights that could deep strike in and fight for you. So narratively it makes sense. So he had to give them some rules that would work in his army, so Victrix makes sense, and he's got them on 40mm bases. And then I thought,
which is, I think that's cool, by the way.
That's really, really cool. And I was like, I'm going to steal that idea but I'll probably just use them as Grey Knight Terminators, because you can use Grey Knight Terminators as an ally through Agents of the Imperium. And they just look really, really cool, and I really like that. But then I was thinking, why not have them as Victrix Honor Guard in any army?
How far down the rabbit hole do you tumble?
Yeah, because I played. The reason my Imperial Fist list is kind of where it is because I played against Liam Calabout at a tournament in Toyment, And he was running.
Lovely chap, by the way.
He's lovely guy. He was running his Dark Angels as Imperial Fists in the new detachment, which had 2 whirlwinds in, so I didn't start it. But he was running Belial as Lysander. Belial was the leader of his army. He had Lysander on the table because Belial's rules are terrible. You'd never use him. He's worse than a normal captain.
So he had Belial model,
but he's using
rules.
Lysander rules. And obviously Lysander gives the unit of Terminators he's with -1 to be wounded, so he's using Deathwing Knights because it's just a straight representation.
Sort of. Definitely Knights are -1 damage, aren't they?
Yeah, but so they had similar rules but cheaper, right?
How did you feel about it?
I don't have a problem with it at all because I was like, I want Belial to be good too. I used to run him when he was flat 3 damage.
Okay.
And he was an absolute unit and he could re-roll hits and wounds versus vehicles and monsters. And you get re-roll all hits and wounds versus the oath target in that detachment. So it's kind of the same. And like having access to lots of -1 to wound through the detachment and enhancements and Belial meant that the army kind of played similar to what it already does in Wrath of the Rock.
But slightly more efficient.
But slightly more efficient, right? But then I think back to 7th, 8th edition where I was at a Warhammer World event and I was running my Celestial Lions as Imperial Fists. Celestial Lions are a successor chapter of Imperial Fists.
Okay.
Right?
So it fits.
Right. I didn't have Lysander on the table, I didn't have Torgadon on the table. I didn't have any special characters on the table. It was just I was just running them as Imperial Fists. And my opponent went to the TO and complained.
Really?
Yeah. He said, so I shouldn't be able to have them because they're not painted yellow. And I had to explain to the TO, I don't have any special characters in my army, and they are a successor chapter to Imperial Fists. I'd be like, I can understand if you were complaining if I was using them as Dark Angels, or Blood Angels, or Iron Hands. And at the time, Iron Hands were fucking mental. But at the time, Imperial Fists were mental.
Or if they were if they were actually Imperial Fists being used as Dark Angels, like literally painted yellow but using Dark Angels rules. I kind of get that more.
But this was a time period where if it was blue, it had to be an Ultramarine. If it was red, it had to be a Blood Angel, right? But that was a time also when each chapter had its own army rule.
Do you think that was a better or a worse time?
The fluff.
If you're unaware, chat, because if you've joined late, in previous editions of this game, specifically 8th, I think it was, and maybe even 9th edition.
8th and start of 9th.
If you had your Space Marines painted blue as Ultramarines, you had to use them as Ultramarines and only had access to the Ultramarines detachments and the Ultramarines rules. You couldn't use them as anything else. So there was no generic detachments. That was what you were. Same as if you were Ulthway, or if you were Farsight Enclaves, or if you were the Cesaric dynasty, or whatever it was, right? You had to use them. That's where this comes from, right?
So if you were Blood Angels, you got +1 attack and strength on the charge. If you were Imperial Fists, you had Bolter Doctrine, which every roll of a 6 to hit was an additional hit. So they had basically sustained hits. I can't remember what the Dark Angels one was.
Always OC1 or something like that?
Oh yeah, +1 OC or fallback and something. White Scars was like advance and charge. They're different things, and then every craft world had its own rule.
And then you had custom rules as well.
So the problem is, like, when every chapter had its own specific rule, it was fine, because you're like, I really like Imperial Fists, I'm using the Imperial Fist rules, right? But the problem is that not all chapter rules or chapter tactics were made equal.
No, correct.
Right? So Blood Angel, there was a time when Imperial Fists was re-roll hit rolls of 1 if you had a heavy weapon. Right? And then Imperial Fists was re-roll 1s if you were a bolter weapon. It was mental, right? And so it kind of meant like, I want to have this rule, I have to paint my army yellow. If I want to do this rule, I want to paint my army red, I want to be black. So it was kind of fine in the sense that it was real narrative. We were living in a very narrative age. So if you were Ulfway, you were in a specific way, or if you were Sam Han, you could like advance and shoot, kind of thing. It was all very narrative, and it made everything felt special. And then what happened is that Games Workshop were like, every army now has custom chapter tactics, custom regiments, custom craft worlds, where they gave you 3 to 4 pages of bullet point advance and shoot, or if you fall back and shoot, or 6s to hit, give you additional hit in shooting, or 6s to hit, give you additional hits in combat. Always +1 OC, stuff like that. And you always pick, and you pick 2, and then there became a very grey area, because like if you painted your army blue, you couldn't use custom chapter tactics because you weren't a custom chapter. So what happened was that it grew the dawn of everyone was started to use obscure chapters that had no known heraldry, or primogenitor chapter. So,
lineage, yeah.
Yeah, so there was lots of Minotaurs, lots of Red Scorpions, and stuff like that started to appear. And obviously people making their own custom chapters. But then there were lots of arguments. If someone made their own custom chapter, they're like, I'm going to use these Ultramarines today. And someone who's running Ultramarines like, well, why do you get to be an Ultramarines and I don't? I don't get to be someone else. And that's when it started to get a bit messy. People got really upset. It was almost like the giving of choice made the game more,
as
more
always,
aggressive.
it becomes an efficiency game, doesn't it? And so people figure out which is the best chapter or which is the best custom attributes, and that's what you saw everywhere.
And that was like mid-8th when competitive 40k really started to kick off, and that's where the obsession with efficiency came.
Yeah.
So every Eldar player, like none of them were using any of the craft worlds, and then they had a choice of 40 custom craft world options to choose from, and they were always like Daughters of Mora Heg, and then something else. So the entire army just got like advanced and charge and sustained hits in combat.
Yeah.
And you never saw anything else. Or Shirken weapons got sustained hits. It was fucking mental. But there was always lots of arguments at the table. And now we're in a time where we're in the detachment hammer now, really.
We are in detachment.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
And we won't talk about Space Marines yet. It doesn't matter what Tau Sept you are, what craft world you are, what Chaos Legion you are. You can paint it whatever you want, because you only have one book, your starter chapter, same for Orcs and Necrons. All the special characters from the different craft worlds, legions, regiments, they're all in the same book, and you can take them all. So like in Tau, you can take Farsight and you can take the new Twin Lance. But the narrative is they hate each other.
Is it?
The Twin Lance would try and kill Farsight if they saw him, because he is a heretic to them. But you could put them in the same army. There's a chance you'll probably see them in a lot of armies together. In fact, if I was going to do Tau, I'd have both units and I'd paint them both white, because that's my favourite craftworld colour. So it doesn't matter what book you are. But for Space Marines, people still kind of have the same mental opinion about 8th edition, where if you're yellow, you are fists. If you're this, you are that. But I feel like we're waking up to a new age, you know? There's a new dawn of conversion, like artistic expression in the game now. Because there was a big time of push fit and all the models, you could only build them the way they are. And now Games Workshop's kind of going back down the route of like, convert it, do what you want, you know? The Grey Knight book is literally, our models are shit, here's how you make them better.
Yeah.
You know?
They do seem to have U-turned a bit on it, didn't they?
Yeah, so I think, do people still have the same opinion about Space Marines now as they did then? You know?
I painted my SMs officially so I can play them as different chapters. I hope you get glassed if complain about that. It's so petty.
Did it echo or was it better? I hope you get glassed if you complain about that.
So Tony, downstairs, one of the downstairs people, His entire Space Marine army is painted silver. They look very much like the Dark Angels silver successor chapter. But he's painted Helbrecht, he's painted all the Ultramarines characters, you know. He's got Grimaldus in there, he's got the Lion, he's got Deathwing Knights, he's got Iron Hands Man, you know. So he could just use them as whatever they are. And I don't think anyone seems to care. No one really gives a shit.
No, I don't.
But I also think, like, there's a certain level of snobbery. If it's painted really nicely, no one cares. But if it's like you've literally spray painted that brown and dipped it in piss, like, we don't like this.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Kind of thing.
I think snobbery exists. I'm kind of like, I think I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I think we're in a better age. I think that the idea of being able to paint whatever the fuck you want and then choose which best fits your kind of play style.
Yeah.
Because it might be that you go, well, actually, my Eldar stuff is all jet bikes, but it's not painted red. So I would fit a Simhan style better than I would. So I can run a Wind Rider host because it doesn't matter that I'm running an Ulthway Wind Rider host. That's what I want to do. I think it's better. I will say that when I see a person who's painted Gulliman red, just because, at least maybe some kit bashing effort.
So I like the idea of. So I've got Gilliman on my desk at the moment, and I was like, he's built but unpainted. I got him literally like my birthday before, and I was like, I think I might just paint him and have him as he is, put him on the same basing as my Imperial Fists, and then maybe paint some of my Space Marines blue as Ultramarines and have them in the same army. Because there's no reason why Ultramarines and Imperial Fists aren't fighting in the same place.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if you were saying, like, we're on Terra right now. On Terra. So the Imperial Fists are already there. The Ultramarines have rocked up to fight the incursion. There's no reason why Gilliman wouldn't be in an Imperial Fist army. Kind of thing. Do
you think
in the Heresy, you could make an army list set on Sotha? It's in the book of the Pharos where Imperial Fists and Ultramarines fight together against Night Lords. So there's rules, so you could have both of them on the table. Meda's made a really beautiful Imperial Fist and Ultramarine combined force with an Iron Warrior in it. And it looks sick.
Sick blood.
So I'm like, why can't we do that?
Well, I wonder what you guys think.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because I feel like for the most part, I don't really care. I do think that if I see like just Gulliman painted red, and it's like, yes, I'm just running Ultramarines, but they're actually Blood Angels, but they're not. I'm a bit like, you've just gone for better rules then.
Yeah, but like, what
you're
if...
not like giving me a narrative reason there. You've just gone, it's better, so I've used this one, which is kind of fine. I don't know.
But what if I bought Dawn? So I want to buy Dawn.
And ran him as Gulliman?
And run him as
So
Gulliman.
I think that's different.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Apparently pre-10 Space Marines, the gene-bred peak of martial and tactical excellence, cannot adapt to other combat styles as their armor is blue, etc.
Exactly.
But how about so when the Indomitus Crusade started, because there is narrative, right? So Dan, who's to come on the channel, he had an unnumbered sons army. So during the start of the Indomitus Crusade, Gilliman went out from Terra with like 100,000 Space Marines, right? He just emptied Cool's vaults of all the Space Marines, right? And all their armor was grey, but their shoulder pad pauldron was the Gene Seed chapter they were from, right? But everyone fought like an Ultramarine, essentially. They all fought under the same combat doctrines. And then when they finally caught up with the parent chapter, they would then unload the Primaris Marines of that Gene Seeds to them, right? So when they got to Fenris,
this is very much better
they had
because you have options, even if most converge to one detachment. I would love some SysM Soup detachments for more choice.
Yeah. Joe would like some Chaos Space Marine Super Detachments tank.
Yeah.
Go on, you were saying.
So basically, in one of the books, in the Dawn of Fire books, the unnumbered sums turn up to Fenris, and they go, here's all the Space Wolves that we made, have them. And the Space Wolves didn't like them.
There's a few chapters, wasn't there? That didn't like it.
Yeah, a lot of chapters didn't like it, because the Space was like, you smell funny, for a start, but you fight like Ultramarines. So there was a bit of, it didn't really work, and the Dark Angels were the same, but they don't trust anything. The Blood Angels were like, thanks, we needed them, because all of our friends died.
Yeah.
We need them.
The Tyranids have eaten them all.
Yeah, the Tyranids had a real moosh boosh of Blood Angels, right? And the Flesh Tearers were literally killed down to Seth and a bunch of scouts. So Seth, who was like, yay, my legion's dead. It's happened. I didn't want it anymore. Gilliman was like, here's 10,000 Space Marines, make a new chapter. And he's like, God damn it!
Yeah, but now Seth's dead.
No, Seth's like, he's just vibing.
Is he?
Yeah, he's just chilling somewhere.
What's going on?
Yeah. You know the poster of Conan the Barbarian of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's just leaning on a throne like that.
Yeah.
That's just like Seth perpetually.
Is it?
Just angry. He's like, I could put up with all his children now. But I'm kind of like, why does it matter now what colour it is?
Does it matter?
But I think if someone goes, it's just because it's the best option, I think that's a bit like, that's kind of like our old man bias to the younger generation.
Yeah, I think maybe.
These new youths coming in here, doing what they want, listening to their hip hops and raps, you know? It's weird, isn't it? Because currently Space Marines have like 17 detachments they can choose for just Codex compliant chapters.
I just don't think I care enough, Jay. I just think that if you turn up to the table and you've painted your army and you've got a narrative that you love and you're happy with it, and importantly for me when I'm playing, if I can see what everything is, if I understand what that unit is and what that unit is, so I don't get confused halfway through the game where I go, wait, is that a Deathwing Knight or is it a Assault Terminator? If I can tell what things are, I'm all about more conversions.
Yeah, because like at the moment, so doing my Imperial Fist, I'm very excited about them. I discovered that I didn't just have 30 heavy intercessors. I have 35 heavy intercessors. So I'm like, if I get 5 more,
You can have 40.
that's 40. It's 10 of those, right? And then I was like, well, I want to have 2 yellow for Imperial Fist, but then I could do some black as Black Templars, and then I'll do 10 as Crimson Fists. And then I'm like, why stop at 40? Why not just go all the way to 60? And do some as Celestial Lions, and then some as, I think, like Mentor Legion or whatever they are. But then I'm like, what's wrong with me painting some Ultramarines? They're just there, helping. You know, because as long as the basing matches, and it's of a similar paint style, why can't I then do Gilliman? Why can't I?
I think it's a cool narrative. Would you paint them Ultramarines though, yeah?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't paint them Imperial Fist colours?
Yeah, so I do a couple Imperial Fist work. Because if I'm adding Gilliman, I'm going to paint him blue. I'm not going to paint him yellow.
All right, interesting. Why?
Because he is blue.
It feels like it's less about rules and more that the idea/culture the hobby cultivated about putting thought and energy into WHO your army is and represents just isn't a thing anymore. Disappointed face emoji.
It feels like it's less about rules and more that the idea culture will be cultivated.
I think it's the community-wise. Thank you, Craig. I think ultimately the point is it's less about community decisions based on what you've done, and it's more now just about what it means to you. So say you paint a full Krieg army. You love Krieg. It is the best thing in the world to you. You eat, drink, and sleep Krieg. You know, you go to sleep and have a shower in a gas mask. That's how you vibe. You don't live in a house, you live in a trench, kind of thing. So when you go to a tournament, you're running pure Krieg, and you're doing that. That's how you want it to be. That's how your narrative is. But there'll be people out there that bought the Krieg models because the Krieg models are really cool, because they are. But then they're like, but the rules for Cadians are much better because they're sticky.
But there's nothing that actually nowadays in every other army that isn't essentially Space Marines, there's nothing out there that says these rules are Cadians. We've all looked at it and gone, that's the Cadian detachment, that's the Krieg detachment. And this is where I think it does differentiate between Space Marines and non-Space Marines, because obviously Space Marines have the chapter-specific supplements for things like Templars, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, etc. And no one else has that. So I think that this is where there's a bit of a disconnect, or there's a bit of a difference, because you look at the detachments in the Guard Codex and you'll go, well, that's clearly the Krieg one, and that's clearly the Cadian one, in my opinion. Or you could do the same with Eldar, that's clearly Simhan, that's clearly Ulthwé, that's clearly Yandin, right? But nothing actually says that. But then when you've got like specifically a Blood Angels attachment, like Angelic Inheritors, that is Blood Angels.
Yeah.
So then someone could turn up with a silver painted army that they're running as Angelic Inheritors.
Yeah, but it's like...
So Games Workshop have kind of created this weird problem where, because I think, and you sort of said this before we went on air, and I think you're right, no one seems to have an issue until it's Space Marines.
Yeah.
I've never seen a person kick off about red painted Farsight being run as something else.
Because currently in Guard, you can have a Krieg command squad in a Krieg squad supported by Krieg engineers with a Krieg heavy weapon team, supported by a Catachan heavy weapon team, a Cadian heavy weapon team, a squad of Catachans, and a squad of Cadians.
I'm preferring seeing armies painted in different colours. Seeing people's imagination of what their army looks like. I've painted my DA army in Grimdark Knight theme. Can I share a link to show it?
You can stick it in Discord and tag me, and I'll get to it at some point. I am. I don't want to set Joe off here. I like people's own stories for their armies. It's your favourite thing, isn't it, when someone comes to you and tells you all about their custom narrative?
That is what I don't like about it, right? I was fine until you said that, right? I am happy for you to have your own narrative, right? I'm happy for you to do your own thing. You're like, all of my Tau are a bright pink with Hello Kitty ears and like tails that are actually all just butt plugs, right?
Yeah.
I'm happy for you to do that because that's what you want to do and that's your artistic expression of your very dark soul, right?
Here comes another one.
It's fine when I say it's the Eldrad datasheet, but it's my high Farseer, should be same for Red Golem as Supermarine guy. The 40k world is huge. Why are the same 15 heroes fighting?
This is what I mean.
This is the point I was going to get onto.
This is the point. Everyone has a problem when it's Space Marines, but no one has a problem when it's anyone else. Carry on, Joe.
Yeah, so basically, I'm happy for you to do your art style the way you want it to be, right? But don't think that you can take up half an hour of my time telling me about it. Right?
He gets so annoyed.
Like,
if you ever see Joe at an event, like at a beachhead or whatever, right, and he's just sort of stood around not doing much, what he really wants is he wants you to come and talk about your narrative. And if you haven't got your own custom narrative, just make it up as you go along and watch his soul slowly leave
I
his
think
body.
it comes from working for Games Workshop, right? So,
Did that Tau army last night have a good story?
yeah, it was just called The Fuckening, right? That was the story. You know, make Joe cry. How much damage 4 can we put into one army? But
Simon apologising as he's clubbing you.
yeah, he was like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, that doesn't make this any more comfortable, right? The problem, I think, stems from originally working at Games Workshop, right? Because when someone comes into a shop, you're basically told, like, listen to the person, let them tell them how they're about their hobby, because if they're excited about their hobby, they're going to spend more on the hobby, which is correct, right? They're like, oh, I've made an all scout army with Phobos. They all come from the moon of cheese, you know, and all of my captains have got brain damage, and that's why they lose, because they make terrible decisions. And you're like, oh, okay. It's like, I've painted them all yellow and put cheese holes in their armour. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Have you thought about buying a tank to go with them? And they're like, no. I was like, well, you could put camo netting of cheese on it, you know? And they're like, oh, that's a great idea. And then they go buy a tank to make it look shit. So when you're literally paid to stand there and listen to people all day tell you about their hobby, it gets a bit draining.
Oh, I love it.
And sometimes you'll go up to an army, someone will come in and they'll put their army down and it looks fucking beautiful. And you're looking at, that's really, really good. That's a really nice army. And then they start telling you about it. And I'm like, I told you it looked great. Take the compliment, move on.
Love it.
Like if I go, how did you convert these? What pieces did you use? That's the information I want to know. Not the name of every character and all the things they've done over the last 20 games you've played. Because that's your hobby.
I mean, I feel like you're being a bit extreme. Not everyone's that bad.
No, not everyone's that bad. I've watched some battle reports where I've turned off because one person does 40-minute intro on what every unit in their army does. And I'm like, done, don't care about this game. Because I know what that does.
I've had that experience.
They're like, this unit, like they're called the 120th fusel penises, you know, and they're all in this unit because they've all got massive dongers, right?
Strong.
And last game they killed a Carnifex, and the game before that they all died, but they were reborn because of their massive wangers, right? And then the game before that they killed 20 Eldar. I'm like,
Joe's actual narrative, this chap.
yeah, and then they'll go, oh, this unit's a Catachan. Catachans come from the planet of Catachan, which is a death world with loads of jungles. And I'm like, I know this, you don't need to tell me. So I'm just kind of just like, I know what it does, I know what it is, let's just play a game.
I'm I'm a little bit different. I'd rather hear the narrative. I get annoyed when everyone, like, they want to tell you every single data sheet's rule. Like, I don't care.
I don't need to, I like, tell me when it happens.
Yeah, I don't
Right?
care.
When I play a game, I like the narrative that happens when I'm playing a game with someone, right?
Lehman Russ says, Joe, can I send you a PDF of my 15-page backstory to my army? Send it to me, Lehman, and we'll do a Joe reviews next Tuesday on the Lehman Joe show.
Like, I had a game.
If anything's going to create more soldiers, it's a wanger.
Like, we played at Beachhead, right?
Oh, I love
and
our
my
chat.
Emperor's Champion's unit literally YOLO'd across the table and just fucking one-tapped a big boy knight. Just like bam! And then immediately the Emperor's Champion's entire unit died apart from him. And he just like walking around just like killing knights. And I was like, he's just on a holy crusade. His faith in the Emperor is so strong this game. He's killing stuff. Cool stuff happened, right? And then the next game, he runs into a great unclean one with 8 attacks and rolls 6 ones. And I'm like, he dropped his fucking sword on the way in. It's so slippery around here from all the goo and all the slime. It just slipped out of his hands. He's just giving it the old 1-2, you know, just punching the great unclean one. And then he died. And I'm like, he fell over, dropped his sword.
Right, so you're telling me a story now. You're telling me your narrative.
But what I'm saying is that, like, but that happened during the game, and that was exciting. But I don't tell my opponent at the start of the next game everything that happened to my
how
Emperor
can we have a
champion.
really narrative game without me explaining in detail the names of each of my head taker axes and how many enemies they've slain?
Yeah,
Doesn't
Joe.
matter because I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah, Joe. How are you supposed to, as a man who loves narrative, why are you shitting on narrative, Joe?
You know my level of narrative. There's some people on a planet vibing, having a lovely cocktail, having lunch. Tyranids. Narrative, right? They're all scared. There's a bunch of Ultramarines in their spaceship
See,
playing with abacuses.
when Joe
you know?
tells you he's a narrative wargamer chat, what he actually means is he's a bit of a tryhard power gamer.
No, I love narrative. I love narrative games. I love the concept of having a narrative game where you've got a bunch of Death Watch kill teams and you've made like a cool like sewery place and they're going in to kill gene stealers because you're playing a situation, right? I don't want to hear about the conversations they had in the car on the way there. That's my head in.
Just join spicy clickbait stream part today, lads. What
Yeah.
talk about?
Joe,
There.
I'd like to tell you about my GSC penal colony. Once upon a time.
I feel like the chat have approved of Brian today, Joe. They
Yeah.
like
I think-
interrupting you with Brian. Joe, I can already
I
tell
hate
as well, he hates being interrupted by Brian. I can already tell he doesn't love it.
I hate it.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not for the Liam and Joe show, but now I know he hates it so much and he really struggles with getting into narrative.
I love narrative, and I want to hear about it, and there's a time and a place. Usually when I'm not there.
What about when that narrative is like, there's a reason why I've got 4 Catan on at once, and there's a narrative reason to it. Is that better or worse? Are you like, okay, go on, justify it? Or are you like, I don't want to hear
What
you
I want to hear
games.
is, I want to meet that rare unicorn that goes, I've only got one. I've got one Catan because they're super rare. I don't have 3 other Catan because it would never really happen, kind of thing. But it's like if someone goes, oh, I've got Gilliman in my Imperial Fist army, but I'm running them as Ultramarines. Gilliman's here because he's dropping off some new troops, you know? It doesn't have to be a big narrative. I'm a doer, not a reader, and clearly I'm not a listener, right? You know, you might see it as selfish, but or tell me about your narrative when we're playing. Right.
Well, this is a backtrack.
That's not a backtrack.
By the way, chat, we are only on 20 members, and we are nearly an hour into the show. If you want to support the stream, the best way to support the stream is by gifting memberships. We'll get some hopes out soon.
So your army's there, and my army's there, and we've set the table up, and we're going to have a cool narrative game. Don't make me stand here as you point to every unit about what it is and what it does. Right? Let's get it on the table. Let's get it set up. Let's roll some dice. Then tell me. You go, I'm going to move squad phalanges, you know? And they got that name because they opened a whole bunch of doors, you know? Spherical ones.
Specifically spherical ones. Okay. Good old squad phalange, right? Easy Phoebe.
Or be like, oh, my head taker has chopped off the head of your captain with smelly poo packs, you know?
Okay. That is a name
That's
of an
the time
axe.
to tell me the narrative as the thing happens.
I just dropped a bit. Thankfully, it's a big bit, so it should be easy to find. But who knows on this carpet? Who knows, Jojo?
Yeah.
I'm quite the opposite. I love a good narrative, and actually, in a world where shit flex this, and I don't want to drop the clanger here, but in a world where people do come up and say, "Oh, I love the channel," right, which is really lovely. You then get to a point where you have this real mismatch of social interaction where they know more about you than you know about them because they watch the channel, right? Yeah. That happens. So you're like, oh, hey, okay. And then I had learned a long time ago that the best thing to do at that point is to be like, ask them about them and their hobby because they want to tell you and they want you to be interested. At that point, it's really easy to start the conversation because otherwise I'll sort of stand there looking at you like, go on, say something funny or do something. Right, so I was like, "What army do you collect?" And it would be quite easy for them to start talking about the reason why they love their favourite army or the narrative. And I'm like, "Cool, I want to hear about that. That's easy conversation." But Joe hates it, and I am slightly more interested. I'll be honest. If I see like a custom Space Marine like scheme of some sort or a custom Craftworld scheme, I'm actually genuinely slightly more interested in that narrative because it's like, "Oh, I've got Blood Angels, cool."
Maybe it's a human interaction I don't like. So Mary says, like, I've gotten people who chat GPT the backstory of their army. So when you walk around, like, heresy events, people obviously put their armies out because they put a lot of time and effort into their stuff. And what some people do is they put like a little plaque up behind their displayed army. And that has a narrative on it. And I'm more than happy to stand there and read that. Maybe. This is the blah, 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 we've fought blah, our notable things are this. Maybe it's just the human interaction part.
Maybe you just don't like people.
I like people. I'm just like, when I'm there to play a game, I just want to play a game. And then when we're playing the game, we can have that conversation. I just don't want to stand around waiting for it to start.
That's fair. Right, Joe, we've had 2 more people gift because we're on 20, and one of them was 10, one of them was 5. So we gave Mr. Tank his hope, and he was very happy with it because it was better than becoming the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Thank you, Callum Prickett, for 5 gifted memberships.
I hope, Callum Prickett, that you become
the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
a captain of a party boat.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that one.
Somewhere nice, like Greece.
Big fan. And then thank you, Cray, for 10 gifted memberships. Literally, that's it. That's all we've got. 120.
Oh.
So thank you, Cray, for 10.
Thank you, Cray. I hope that you become a taste tester for
Seaman.
Haribo. And thank you, Luke Pywalker, for 5 gifted memberships.
Oh, a new one. Thank you, Luke.
I hope that you get to drive around the Thames on one of those glass-bottom boats with a big net.
With a big net.
Do what you will with it. Catch fish, corpses, because it's the Thames.
Probably corpses.
Passers
yeah.
by.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Luke, for
But
the
not
5.
children. There is an age limit on it.
We're on 25 gifted, chat. We are a quarter of the way there.
Yeah.
And an hour through, which is concerning.
But yeah. What are your opinions on colour, people? As in
Can you
people
please
watching.
Can you reword that, please?
People
Jesus
watching.
Christ!
Not that. As in, what's your opinions on this, people? As in, like, people watching. Yeah. What is your opinion on the colours of models?
Can we be very
On the
careful,
table.
please?
Yeah.
Can we be very careful?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, I'd like to keep you in employment.
Thank
I'll
you,
be
Kerry,
honest.
for 5 gifted members. I hope that
Clipped.
I hope that you become renownedly famous for making soup.
Oh, okay. Oh, Joe.
No, like the colours of models, like in armies, because I feel like narrative is an excuse, but I think there's also a reason to be like, someone said, "Oh, my narrative is I just bought for Catan."
Yeah.
I think we should be perfectly happy with the concept that people go, "I just want to play with these models."
I am though. I think I am quite happy with that for the most
Yeah.
part. I think the only time when I have an issue, right? If I'm being completely honest, I think the only time I've had an issue is when someone does something like For Catan, and then they try and justify it with narrative.
Yeah.
Like, no, you just wanted to run For Catan, and that's fine. You're legally allowed to do that. That's perfectly okay. Just be like, I wanted to try For Catan.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. You don't need a narrative for that, mate. Just crack on.
I
Like,
want to take 18 Victrix because I'm just a scumbag.
There's a reason why I want to take For Catan, because narrative. Shut up. There's no narrative behind it. You just wanted to take a busted list, and that's
wanna
okay.
win.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, at that point, just fucking own it at least. Thank you, SFH, for the Skull Team membership. You're a legend. Love you.
I know why they're here. But yeah, I think now we live. Like, I think it doesn't matter what detachment you run. I think as long as you just are happy building and painting the models the way you want to, I think that's kind
But it
of.
still kind of does, because they still have restrictions on Space Marine detachments. You can only run this one if you're Imperial Fists. You can only run this one if you're Dark Angels.
Man, it says, in ninth, people ran more Sandguard than existed in the law. That is correct. Because there's only like 24 Sandguard, but people were just running 30. Because that was the maximum squad size. So I think it's difficult because like now we're starting to get detachments that are character locked, not chapter locked, but they're chapter locked in the sense that that character is associated with a chapter, but it doesn't say what color you have to paint them. So Raven Guard, Shan has his own detachment, which was famously very good for about 2 months until Games Workshop murdered it, and now Raven Guard are terrible again.
My opinion is, if you're thinking about my baby, it don't matter if you're black or white.
Oh, this could get dangerous. I need a dump button.
I think, but the thing is, like we said, like in a world where we have 10,000 Space Marines in a chapter, and there are literally like thousands of chapters, there's not going to be only one stealth master, you know, like Shan. There's not only going to be one guy in Terminator armor with a big hammer and shield, like Lysander. Like, so it doesn't matter if you paint him yellow because, you know, there might just be an Iron Hands that's really good with a hammer. There might be a Blood Angel who just likes wearing Terminator armor. You know, right there.
Yeah. These are cool. You get little pilots, look. Sitting there, controlling the little robot.
Yeah.
Into it. I like it.
And
I think I'm not going to glue him yet.
it's like, I always found it super weird that, like, when he was a playable character, you had Pask, who was a tank commander. So you could upgrade one of your Lehman Russes to be Pask. But Pask, in a universe of literally trillions of guardsmen and tank commanders, he can't be the only good one. Mm-hmm. Primarchs is different, you know, because there was only 18 of them. And like after the heresy, I think there was only like... who died? 4 of them? 3 of them.
Horus Sanguinius.
Not
Perturabo.
Horus Sanguinius, Alfarius. Iron Hands man, Captain Boring.
Ferrus Manus, that's the
Ferrus Manus, he died. But then Conrad Kurz died after the heresy. He was killed by an assassin. So when they're literally limited to that many, but then at the same time, I don't see the problem why like you can't buy Dawn and just run him as Gilliman.
I think
because like we're starting to see like I never had a problem with people buying Heresy Perturabo or Conrad Kurz and running them as Abaddon.
I think, and I don't know if this is just me, and maybe this is a real, like, me being really picky when I shouldn't, but I think if you bought Dawn as a model and you ran him as Gulliman, and then you put together essentially an Ultramarines list, but your Victrix Honor Guard were all converted into Imperial Fists, and there's no this is where the effort comes in for me. There's no Ultramarine symbols on them anymore, but they are Imperial Fists.
Yeah.
And Dawn's painted in his resplendent gold, and you go, these are my Imperial Fists. So I'm using Gladius because it's the fucking best, but also because I can use these models, including this guy who's actually Gulliman, despite the fact he looks like Dawn, and these guys who are actually Victrix Honor Guard, despite the fact they look like Templars. I don't know. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah. Genuinely. I think if you've just bought Victrix Honor Guard and Gulliman and just painted them yellow and done nothing with them, I'm like...
Like, so if I bought a bunch of Sword Brethren, gave them all bolt guns and power swords, and gave them cool, fancy hats, and ran them and painted them yellow, you'd be happy for me to run them as Victrix?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
I do think so. I think I'm more okay, because it's like... Because at that point you're like, I found a data sheet that represents the unit that I want to build.
Yeah.
It's a good data sheet, I want to use it, right? So, but I'm going to put the effort into making something narrative that fits that. I think that's fine.
What if I ran Sword Brethren on the table in my fists and just said that they were Victrix?
They kind of work still, I think.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I think they still work, because they're just guys in custom armor with custom power swords, and they're close combat specialists.
Yeah, I think... And again, if you're running them as Victrix, they can't be confused for
Sword Brethren,
because you can't take Sword Brethren and Victrix. So that it's less like, it's still clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks cool. It's clear. I get it. And sometimes some people get shafted. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there, especially if you're like an AdMech player, that goes, "I'd love to play this as anything else."
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I've collected this army because I like the model range and I like the narrative, and the rules are so dog shit. You know,
I saw this on War Games Live the other day, and this also kind of brought up the idea of the colour of painting your models. Is that safe? Sounds safe, right? He was running Chaos Space Marines, but he was using an Imperial Fist army.
Okay.
So it wasn't even the same army anymore.
Okay.
But they're still Space Marines. So all of his Chaos Space Marine Vindicators were yellow. All of his Hell Brutes were just yellow Contemptor Dreadnought. It was basically a Horus Heresy army of Imperial Fists.
I don't understand.
So now we're transcending codexes.
I don't understand though, because the Space Marine codex is just better.
I don't understand why I did it, because I was like, surely just Space Marines is just flat better.
Yeah, just take their rules, use stronger army.
Yeah.
Someone said more hobby effort equals more leeway.
So he played so the army looked incredible. It was a beautiful army. My question was, why use Chaos Space Marine rules? Because they're bad.
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason. But he had like Dawn as Abaddon and stuff.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Someone said more hobby effort equals more leeway. Seems like Liam just has a bias against meta chasers, which is a matter of taste, but I don't hate it. You're right. I think you're probably quite correct. It's not. I don't even have the issue with meta chasers per se. I have the issue with meta chasers who then try and justify it with some narrative bollocks. Like if you're going to meta chase, that's fine. Like, I'm okay with it. I don't judge a person who meta chases. I don't think tournament players and meta chasers are the worst human beings in the world. Crack on, it's your hobby. The beauty of the hobby in general, and this is where I then think I personally just don't care about colour, really, in terms of what you paint your models, what chapter symbols you use, if you run fists as Chaos Space Marines. Like the point of this hobby is it's a giant sandbox and it's multifaceted. So you do it your way and you enjoy it your way. And strictly speaking, as long as it's a legal thing that you can do in the rules, no one can tell you that you're doing it wrong because it's your fucking hobby. And that's a message I want to try and get across to a lot of people. No one can tell you you're doing it wrong. In fact, people can tell you they're doing it wrong, and they're arseholes. It's your fucking hobby. You do what you want. As long as you're enjoying it, you're not hurting anyone. Who cares?
Yeah. The only thing I would probably say that is important in any of it is the base size.
That is important because that's modelling for advantage.
And distinctly shaped and converted to represent what it's supposed to be. So if you're running Necrons as Space Marines, you still want your Necron Warriors to be on 32s, which I think they are. Or if they're not, you have to use Immortals because they're on 32s. Obviously, you can't use Scorpec Destroyers as Terminators or Aggressors because they're on 50 mils. So you'd have to use something like Wraiths because they're on 40 mil bases to represent your elite units. But you can't have a unit of Wraiths represent Terminators and Blade Guard.
Correct, exactly. Just be clear.
Yeah.
Just be clear with people.
Kind of thing. Like I've seen some really beautiful AdMech armies converted out of like Skaven.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't that what Paddy played at the
Paddy played them,
event?
but like as long as so he was using rat ogres as Castellan robots, and like that makes sense.
Yeah, it's cool.
Rays are on 50 now anyway. What's on the 40 mil in the Necron Codex?
Lich Guard on 40s?
No, Lich Guard are on 32s. Scarabs are on 40. So I don't think you could really use Scarabs as Terminators or Blade Guard.
It would be hilarious.
It would be funny, but...
you could make Praetorians and put them on 40s.
Yeah.
And then say that these are Blade Guard. They've got the big blades, they're Blade Guard.
Yeah.
But you've made sure the base size is correct, so you're not modelling for advantage.
Yeah, because and it's not even a modelling for advantage. Well, it is modelling for advantage, but like at the same time, you don't want warriors on 50 mil bases because
it looks weird.
It looks weird. And B, like you're disadvantaging yourself.
Yeah. Disadvantage yourself, chat.
Yeah.
Chat, we're still on 31 of the finest members. Super Chat's doing well today. Thank you so much.
Or maybe you could run Necrons as Chaos Space Marines because like Obliterators are on 50 mils. So you could use Destroyers as Obliterators. I imagine the Mutilators coming out probably are on 50 mils as well. So you could use Scorpec as them. It just probably gets a bit harder with the tanks.
We're 9 away from 40 members, chat. We're 19 away from 50. Can we get to 50 before the end of the show? That would be amazing, and I'd love you all very, very much. Deceivers on 40.
Yeah, loads of Deceivers.
Multiple deceivers.
Just take. I've got 40 heavy intercessors and I've got 40 deceivers on the table.
I've come to the conclusion that
Yeah.
I just think Xenos are my favourite in Warhammer. I think I prefer Xenos to anything else.
All about Space Marines, baby.
No, I know you are, which is
I
fine.
love Space Marines so much. Like, I would like to, like I said, I'd like to build and paint a Tau army. I have no real interest in playing them.
Well, I'm going to get to play one tonight.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Are you excited to play with Tau tonight?
Yeah, I am actually.
I hope you push Paddy's, like, just back doors in.
I've just never really played with a just shooting army.
Makes me feel sick.
So I'm
Even when I
interested to
run
give-
guard, I still try and put my horses in so I can charge people.
No, I've never run an all shooting army. I'm interested to give it a go. Even Eldar have a huge combat contingent normally in there because I'm a melee man predominantly. So I am looking forward to it. I think it should be fun. I haven't got a clue what to expect, but I think it should be fun. Paddy wrote a list for me to use, but he
wrote that list specifically to play against me.
Yeah, he intended to fuck you with it, and he's going to fuck himself with it. But
Yeah,
I do
that's the
notice
hope.
that when he played last week, he proxied in the Twin Blade, and then when he wrote me a list, he didn't put them in.
Yeah, how convenient. Did
Oh,
you change it so you got them in?
No, I haven't put them in.
I think you should put them in.
No, the
'Cause
data
they-
sheet's not on the app, so I don't want to.
But they are very good. I
have some killer can models that I think are larger than regular killer cans, as if they are on larger bases, is that generally a disadvantage?
for that larger models in combat units surrounded by smaller model bases is technically modeling for advantage, because what happens is, I need a big base. Annoyingly, I think that's the biggest one I've got.
I mean, there is like a giant set of legs.
Oh, yeah, there's a giant set of legs there, right? So if you're all the same size little bases, right, like that. I don't know if you can see that, right? When you go and charge, you have to like wrap around to kind of and go into base contacts outside. So you get lots of models. You have to like really surround it, and then you get to a point where you can't get any more into an engagement range. But if you've got a model with a really big base in the unit and you touch it, everyone just only has to touch that model with the big base, and then you get more models into engagement range because you have to be in base contact with someone that's in base contact. So having a large model base in a unit makes that unit better. That's why Abaddon's really good for like getting maximum people into engagement range, because as long as they touch him, or having Helbrecht in a unit of assault intercessors, they just have to touch Helbrecht's massive base.
He's on 50 mil, isn't he? Was he 60?
60. It's gigantic, his base.
It's pretty big for a Space Marine character, to be fair.
I don't know why it's that big,
Because he's got his goobers on it, hasn't he?
but even with the goobers, I think he still fits on a 50. There's like a massive rim all the way around.
Love a massive rim.
Yeah, I don't understand why it needed to be that big, but it is cool.
I've done that before. Ask says, and for most people who are playing casually, this is fine. Just don't give a fuck about the rules with regards to base size and give the model a base size that makes the model make sense. And I've done that, and I've gone, look, he doesn't look right on a 25 mil. I'm going to put him on a 32 mil, for example, and I don't care.
I think it depends on it does. Oh, Logan Grimnar, his base is gigantic as well. It doesn't matter casually. It only really matters at tournaments and events, because the app does give a specific base size. If you go to a tournament and you've got Drazar on a 50 mil base when he comes on the 40, then it's a bit crazy. But if you've got loads of killer cans, which I think come on 50s, and you've got some guys on 60 mils in there, I think that's like no one really cares, I think if you're playing Tony wants to run his Heresy AdMech as 40k AdMech. I don't think it matters.
But Joe, is it a buttery biscuit base?
those are all acceptable.
Chat like Brian, it seems, but they don't like gifting now, and that's the wrong way round.
Just get them to donate more money, give bigger super chats.
I think if we'll just say that every time we
Can you change when Brian speaks?
No, I can't change when. I change how. You can give him funny accents.
Because Mikey's one only does it for £5 and above.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, so just change him for that.
Yeah, we can do that. That's not a problem. We can also say, like, if every time on the Liam and Joe show we hit gifted target, we will put Brian in for the next one.
Yeah.
And then if we don't hit gifted target, next one we'll take Brian out. Like, you didn't hit target.
Yeah. He put so ADTR put his jet bikes on ovals instead of round because round doesn't make sense. All of the Raven Wing floaty bikes that we've got are on the big round bases because that's what they come with. I didn't have the ovals, and it's not been a problem on the channel. Like, we've never really cared.
No, I don't care. Thank you, Evan, for the one gifted. You're a legend. We're
Thank
on
you.
32, believe it or not. So 68 if you want.
And Ted, thank you for one.
68 if you want Brian back, or 67 now if you want Brian back on Tuesday for the Liam and Joe show. Brian will be a rolling total now.
I don't think we should have Brian on game streams though.
No, Brian won't go on game streams.
Yeah.
Never.
It takes long enough to get through the game stream.
I don't know what you talk about. You not always go play till 11 o'clock and whinge that it takes too long. Me and you got it done in before 10 o'clock on Tuesday.
I mean, you did bring a not great army list.
Ezekiel being on the 25mm base is hilarious when alongside Stern Guard, can also scare CK players in combat with his anti-chaos 2+.
Yeah. Can't he also join Blade Guard, which are on 40 mils?
I think so, yeah. Ezekiel is...
The fact that he didn't get a new model.
I know. Are you going to install RTTs? Yes. Big love to Joe and Liam. Congrats on the new store, mate. Thank you. It's going okay. I need more people to come and use it more regularly, but it is going okay. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I'm really happy with the feedback we've had. So I'm just living here now for the short term. When you have a model on a flying stand like the jet bikes, does it go to base or hull?
Base on jet bikes. It's only vehicles that. Well, but it depends. Normally it's if the hull of the vehicle goes over the base, then you go to hull. If the model is smaller than the base size, if it's a vehicle, you go to the base, basically. So a storm surge is weird because you measure to the model and the base. So combat, it's base, and shooting, it's base if you can't reach the gun, because you can shoot from the gun even if it overlaps. It's super weird. I don't like it personally. I think it should just be to the model. And that's not because of the storm surge and the absolute molestation I got last night. Is that when...
By the way, Si's a legend for taking a storm.
I
don't think anyone took storm surges.
I love Simon to bits, right?
I love storm surges.
I just like giving him shit, right? So this is the base size, and this guy's on it, and there's a wall. The base is here, but you can stick the gun out and shoot from here and shoot around corners.
But then you can also be shot.
But you can also be shot. But I don't like it because your opponent, you can shoot your opponent. I mean, your opponent can take cover because you can't see them. But it's just like I think it's just a bit janky.
Okay. But Joe, what's a round base?
Oh yeah.
Well, they have to clarify that.
They had to clarify that, which is
Working in show business isn't risky enough. Let's also be a small business. Thanks, Melody. Yeah, that's what we did. That's what we did. We went, this really risky YouTube career, which is very volatile for revenue, and it can be up and down each month. And sometimes, like now, we worry about the bills. Let's also add in opening a brand new business, where most new businesses fail within the first 12 months. In retail, in a cost of living crisis.
On a completely unrelated note, I want to start a petition for Games Workshop to release a new box Dreadnought.
Okay, why?
Because have you seen how small the box Dreadnought is now?
I kind of like how small he is, though.
I don't like it. I think they could put him up a little bit more. It's my Chaplain Dreadnought I've been working on. I brought him in to paint him some more today.
What are you comparing him to?
I'm going to go get a Redemptor Dreadnought. I don't mind him staying smaller. That's the thing. So these guys are going into the same army. It's like, don't talk to me or my son ever again, kind of thing. I don't mind the box Dreadnought being smaller in the new sculpt. I just want it to be a little bit bigger, because basically the box Dreadnoughts now are only a tiny bit bigger than an actual Terminator. When they should dwarf Terminators. I'm surprised we didn't get. So I'm saying the box Dreadnought is the only way to build Bjorn. The only benefit to him being this teeny weeny, right, is that he can hide inside buildings, but he can't walk through the building. So he can hide around corners and stuff. But
yeah, I feel like when he's that small as a Dreadnought, he should be able to walk through walls
yeah,
like infantry, because he's a tiny, tiny weeny Dreadnought.
yeah. Yeah, Logan Dreadnought. Logan's base is bigger than Bjorn's as well. Baby Bjorn, baby Bjorn.
Sorry, just dealing with something.
Oh. But yeah. It's just unrelated side note there. Boy.
Right, the thing's been dealt with. Okay, good.
Cool. Just to make rules, we've already read that one, haven't you? Logan is legal in boarding actions, Bjorn is not.
Yeah.
That's an interesting. Because one of them significantly bigger than the other, and it's not the Dreadnought.
Well, it's same for Hellbrecht, right? Hellbrecht actually stands taller than the box Dreadnought.
Yeah, the box Dreadnought is cool though. Your Redemptor's missing some guns.
Yeah. I realised I couldn't find the plasma cannon, so he's only got an assault cannon at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, the Hellbrute is teeny. So small, the Hellbrute. That needs a resculpt as well. Because like, if you play Space Marine 2, they're nearly the same size.
Yeah. Yeah. Boxnot gets a size upgrade or the infantry keyword, pick one. I kind of would do either, yeah. I'd take the infantry keyword, because the thing is, I do look at Redemptors, and I like Redemptors, and I like the Redemptor variants. I like Brutalis, I like all those ones. So I'm a fan. I think they feel more mechy, but narratively, Dreadnoughts were sarcophagi filled with the dying carcass of a Space Marine that they didn't want to let die. And they attend council meetings and they walk down the halls of ships.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that's as believable with a Redemptor as it is with a Boxnaut. I think it's quite believable with a Boxnaut. But if Boxnauts are the ones that sit on councils and walk down ships, then maybe they should have the infantry keyword.
But they are still massive, right? They are huge. So like, they're described as being gigantic. But then the halls of a starship are, you can drive a rhino down.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're right.
Like, there's a guard book where there's like, when the ships gets boarded, so an entire Lehman Russ tank company, so it's like driving up and down the central aisle of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And fighting, because the starships are huge. But like, they do have rooms big enough for normal Dreadnoughts to be in.
Stu Wilson, thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Stu.
Fucking legend.
I hope that you open a capybara farm.
Oh, I love it. We are 2 single gifted away from 40, chat. I believe in you. I think you can do it. Joe was saying before we went live that he doesn't believe in you.
It says like, Wigtail says how tall they compare. So I think a guardsman's only supposed to come up to like the crotch. So I think like narratively, a box dreadnought is supposed to be the same size as a Redemptor.
Thank you so much, Sprugly, for 5 gifted membership.
Thank you, Sprugly. I hope that you.
It's going to go off. Brian's going to go off.
Here's to hoping when they release the Scouring First Ed Joe gets his new shiny box noughts plus other old firstborn kits.
My Imperial Fists I've started to use old helmets and stuff from like the firstborn kits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slip them in.
Sorry, thank you for the one gifted. You can now give Sprugly his hope.
I hope, Sprugly, that you gain the ability to shrink random parts of your body, but not all at once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a useful ability, do we
Dunno.
think? Do you know?
Do you know?
Do you know?
Maybe he's to get his arm into a 10p pusher machine, you know?
That would be maybe helpful, but maybe then he wouldn't be strong enough to push the 10p's.
That is true.
Does he keep the strength? You haven't done a lot of building today, Joe. You're all right.
I'm really cold.
Turn the aircon off
I've
then.
been talk. Okay, I might do.
You put it on.
I
left it
didn't
on.
put it on.
You did. I haven't turned it on.
I haven't turned it on.
Was it on when you came up here?
I'm also going to go for a wee.
Was it on when you came up here?
That's because I haven't turned it on.
That means I must have left it on overnight. That's a fucking bill. Great. Thank you, Si, for the one. Liam, how do we know which table is which number when we book a table online? I like to put the boarding actions table specifically. You don't, just stick it in the comment section. So there's a note section, if available, boarding actions, and it's a first come, first serve. So if we can give it to you, we will, if it's not already booked.
It was suggested to spread manure over strawberries. Tried it, but I prefer cream.
Yeah. I also prefer cream stew, if that makes sense. If that helps out even. I can't say that I've tried manure on strawberries, or that I would. This was a particular health benefit to it, I guess. No, I still don't think I could. Chat, I get to play Tau tonight. Paddy wrote me a list, right? And it's a bit obnoxious, I think. But I think he wrote it with the intention that I would be taking on Joe with it. The question is, do I run the same list, or do I tweak it slightly? Now, when I say I tweak it slightly, I don't know what I can tweak it to, because I don't know what he's got access to. But do I tweak it slightly, or do I run what he wanted me to take into Joe? Spoiler alert, it was triple Riptides. So I'm comfortable running triple Riptides. But are chat comfortable with me running triple Riptides? Oh, it's so chilly, Willie. What's the list? The list that Paddy sent me. The list that Paddy sent me. Where is it? Which was originally to take on Joe.
Yeah.
Was Commander Farsight, Commander Shadowsun, Cold Star Commander, Enforcer Commander, a broadside and then another broadside, 3 Fire Knife Crisis Suits, 2 units of 3 Star Scythe Crisis Suits, 2 Ghost Keels, 3 Riptides, and 2 units of 5 Stealth Suits. Now, what he's taking, and I don't know what this stuff does anymore, I'm out of touch with systems at the moment, is he's taking...
Oh, I read his list. It's awful.
Hospitaller, Morvenval, Palantine, 10 Battle Sisters, an Immolator and a Sorotas Rhino, 10 Sad Croissants, 3 Paragon Warsuits, a Penitent Engine, a Repentia Squad of 10, another Repentia Squad of 10, another Repentia Squad of 10, 3 units of 5 Retributors. Is it good?
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah. Thing is, though, you've got indirect, haven't you?
I've got indirect on smart missile systems. I don't know if he's put other indirect in there. I've got flamers as well.
Yeah.
which means repent should die quickly.
I'll just put no terrain down.
Oh, Robin Ellis, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. We're
you,
1 away from 50.
Thank you, Robin Ellis. I hope that you gain the ability to do the magic shouts from Skyrim.
Ah. The Do Re Ma nonsense.
So re mi you fa so la ti da.
Yeah,
That one.
that's what it was, wasn't it? I fucking love that game. One of the very few games that I've actually just put hours into.
I got
as a
bored
single player.
playing it
Did you? Why?
because like you have to spend loads of time just like farming really boring tasks to level stuff up.
Yeah.
So like crafting, like you had to like go to the wizard school and steal all of their gems to go away and craft stuff, and then all like you have to craft 1 million tiny knives to get your crafting level up. And I was just like, I'm just bored.
I don't know, there was something I found about it that was quite calming and therapeutic.
And then I got really upset that you can be both a vampire and a werewolf.
Did you? I thought you had to pick one or the other.
I thought you could be both.
I thought you had to pick. I might be wrong, but I thought you had to pick.
I was just like,
I was a vampire.
the sparkly one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was a sparkly vampire.
just didn't like it.
I don't like her.
I got bored. The problem is like, didn't hold my attention. I really struggle with like those long fantasy games.
Do you?
Yeah, like I deal better with the shooty ones, but then sometimes they're just a bit. I get bored with like doing menial tasks in those games. Or like they give you one task where you have to literally walk leagues away, right?
Leagues away.
And then you have to travel all the way back, and you tell them you've done it, and then they're like, and then someone else is like, oh, I need you to go there, where you've just come from, to do another task. I'm like, you tell me to do it. Like, all of you people here, give me all the jobs you need me to do, and then I'll go out and do them, and then I'll come back. You know? And if a couple more of you tell me to go somewhere else as far away, that's fine, but just give me all the jobs at the same time. Does my head in.
Okay.
So you're annoyed at the villagers.
Yeah. And I'm like, why aren't you doing it? You're not doing anything. You're just stood there in a puddle of poo,
Whinging.
complaining. If you're a big go-getter, you know.
It is a problem with modern day life, mate, isn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah, just really annoyed me. But like, I love Fallout.
I mean, is it not similar though? Like Fallout's a bunch of menial tasks.
Yeah, but you get to like shoot laser guns, don't you?
If you've crafted one.
Or you could find them. You know, I don't know. I found Fallout just a bit more exciting. Also, it's funny. Also, once you in Skyrim, like once you get to the point where you're like one-shot bowing giants, you're like, meh. The kind of the excitement goes out of it a bit.
I think again you could say the same about Fallout though, surely. Right?
I don't know, but when you're one-shotting a big thing in Fallout, it's because you fired a mini nuke at it,
True, that is true.
and then there's a plentiful explosion to go along.
That is true.
Or you can give loads of drugs to an old lady.
As if no one gifted the 1 to get us on the 50 mark.
Silly.
So you don't care.
But I've just got nowadays though with like computer gaming, it's either a bit of like no think Battlefield or Space Marine 2 or story horror games. That's where I am. That's where I'm at the moment.
I really miss playing Battlefield.
I don't like story games that take really long. It's kind of I'm like, oh, I'm bored now. I want to go play a different game.
I don't know if that's a game issue though, mate, or a you problem. Might be your focus problem. Jeremy, thank you for the 1 gifted. We're on 50. Now someone just give 50, right? And we're good. And then you can have Brian next Tuesday.
But I'm kind of like at the stage where like I don't feel like single player games should be longer than 20 hours.
Okay. I think for a lot of it, mine depends on what else does the game offer. Is it just a single player experience, or does it have like online multiplayer as well? And then, quite importantly for me as well, is what's the cost? How much does a game cost? If you're charging me 80 quid for a game, it's just a single player, I would want more than 20 hours.
That's what it depends on. So like Resident Evil, I think like you can complete it in about 16 hours, but you can also speed run it and do it in less than 4.
Okay.
But there's no multiplayer to it. It's just a single player. But like the more you complete it, the more stuff you unlock. And like Resident Evil has always been one of those games that's about replayability and like doing it in different ways.
Yeah.
So you could
cool.
the speed run. You could do the speed runs, or you could do the no heal runs. You're just not allowed to heal the entire way, or the no death run.
What's the no death from?
You're allowed to die.
Well, surely if you die, you lose anyway.
Yeah, so you got to start again. Some people do the no death run where when you die, you just reload from before, kind of thing.
Right.
Like there's no, but I'm like that is a death run. I like the no death run where you don't know how to die at all.
I think I've got bored of video games.
Or is it you don't have time to play them? So you just learn to live without them?
I think both. I think honestly both. I don't have time to play them because I do miss games like Battlefield, but I also struggle whenever I had the chance to play them to just give a fuck.
Is that because you're just bad at them?
Well, when you don't get to play very often and you go into something like Call of Duty or Battlefield, which is a monumental fucking unemployed sweat fest, yeah, you are then bad at it. And then you don't have fun. And you're like, cool, I'm so glad that you dunked on me whilst you're sitting in your mum's fucking basement in your underwear. Good.
How would you feel if it was a successful businessman that did it?
I mean, it wouldn't matter because I wouldn't know.
And they were like, how dare you insult me? I will now buy your house and then sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how successful businessmen operate, but
that's what you imagine they do.
Yeah. That's what I'd do.
What would your successful business be in, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
What would your
The
successful
buying and selling of houses, obviously.
Oh, clearly, of course. Hence, you've got such knowledge on it.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. We're all playing that game right now. What game?
We're all playing that game right now. With the buying
Star
and selling
Wars
of houses.
Empire at War.
Empires at War is a great game.
I don't think I've ever played it.
Because it had spaceship battles and planet battles. And you could send in your, the Y-Wing was the bomber. So you could, go and, bomb their shields or bomb their engines so their spaceships, their bigger ships can fly anywhere. Great game. Great game. And then you could have, but you'd have to have transports that could land on the planets, and then you'd have, Command and Conquer style planet battles.
That's kind of cool. Oh, missiles.
I saw a cool conversion kit somewhere done where it was more like a broadside, so the missiles were on arms. It looked quite cool.
I don't know why they need arms. Mech suits don't need arms unless they're supposed to be fighty mech suits. Mech suits that aren't fighty mech suits don't need arms because they just need more guns.
But arms means that you can have guy shooting that way and that way, whereas this guy has to literally rotate all the way around,
Yeah, cool. Like a tank turret.
which is like an arm. Whereas the
Right,
turret
chat.
is the entire top half.
I love you all very, very dearly. I was really hoping we get to 100 gifted so we could have Brian next Tuesday and keep upsetting Joe, but we've got to just gone 3 o'clock. I have to be conscious that the shop opens in less than an hour. I've still got to sort food out. We've still got to prep for tonight's show. I've still got to make sure that I can be available a bit downstairs if I'm needed. So we're going to have to go, I'm afraid. Thank you so much for the 50 gifted we had so far. It means tonight you've only got to do 150, Made your life slightly easier. If you'd have done 0, it would have been 200. So you made your life slightly easier, chat, if you want to support us. If you do want to support us, we are back tonight at 7:30 with a live game of Warhammer 40k. You paid for it on Tuesday. It's Liam Learns Tau. And Paddy's here with Sisters and Joe's on the deck. So I am playing, yet again, I know, twice. By being here 2 nights in a week, I've tripled the amount of times I've been on the channel this year playing games. I'm back playing and learning Tower against
Yeah.
Paddy with Sisters with the Adeptus Roritas. And then tomorrow night we've got After Dark at 7:30 live here from the studio, and I need to at some point this afternoon or tomorrow build the mystery box deck thing so we can do the giveaways if you hit 150, which will be amazing. And if you hit that 150 tonight that you've set yourself, I'll do a bonus giveaway tomorrow night anyway.
Oh.
Right? You'll just get an extra one.
What are you going to give away? Carry case?
No, I've got 4. I've got a Kallax 2x2 unit.
Oh, you're going
and
to give the Calyx away?
I got 4 cupboard doors.
Yeah,
Right.
you give cupboard doors away.
I'm going to put question marks on the cupboard doors and put a prize behind each door. And if we get to 150 gifted, right, we pick a winner at random from the audience. They get to pick a door, and then that's what they win.
They win the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Depends if the door.
I'm going to be honest, it doesn't sound like an exciting giveaway.
It's because the door, what's inside the door is more valuable. It's going to be important.
Oh, okay.
Malikat, thank you for the 1 gifted. You're a legend.
Is it going to be locks of Toby's hair?
Well, it could be an army painter speed paint. It could also be a combat patrol or a Nightbringer, or it could be a Fellblade, or it could be a weird Tzeentch AOS character that I don't know the name of. A Fate Master. That's a name, isn't it?
Oh, that's the little skimmer man, isn't it? The Fate Master.
I haven't got a fucking clue, mate. I just said it.
Can I enter the competition?
Well, if you're in chat, yeah. Right, so if you're not in chat, you can't enter the competition. How does it pick you out at random on the chatty chat if you're not there?
You should just know.
Should it? Okay.
should just
Always
know.
include Joe.
Yeah.
And make him win 10% of the giveaways. Okay. Right, so there we go. That's everything for tonight and tomorrow and the rest of this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the 51 gifted memberships. Only 149 tonight. You're amazing human beings. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. If you have, make sure you smash that like button before you disappear. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Have a wonderful time.